Hello and welcome to the Super Basement Bro Show. My name is Connor and I'm joined by Tanner and Hasten. Today on this episode we're actually going to talk to you guys about the world of entertainment and how it's been affected by the virus COVID-19. And we're just going to kind of go over how it's affecting the movie industry, the video game industry, because it's been a crazy few days and it's going to be a crazy couple weeks.
No, it's not because everything's closed.
That's true. It's going to be actually very subdued, quiet.
Yeah,
a couple weeks and whatnot.
Everything that's
be
fun
weird.
is done. It's canceled.
Yeah.
Everything.
Me, Taryn, and Hasten, we're planning to go to E3 this year, and
That's
we will
done.
no longer. E3 is canceled. We were planning to go to Disneyland in just a couple weeks.
That's
Disneyland
done.
is now closed. So, all of our plans just kind of got shut down.
Every single movie is postponed. To
every
further notice.
movie over the next couple months is indefinitely
So
postponed.
basically,
or-
every movie that was gonna come out this year is coming out next year. So we have to wait. We are
It's
for
pretty
everything.
Let's go ahead and start with movies then, actually, because it's pretty crazy. If you haven't been following the movie industry the last couple days since this whole COVID-19 stuff, Fast and Furious 9 delayed till next year, a full year delay.
If that doesn't, I don't get that.
That seems really far out.
Well, it's
Almost
probably
too
just
much.
budgetary, like business wise.
I think it's because they
You even
want
said,
to
like-
own that.
well, now
they said they
everything,
were done
all
with
these
it.
movies that are getting pushed, there's going to be like once this thing settles, there's going to be a lot of movies
Yeah,
that release
big
pretty
time,
quickly.
yeah.
So
I mean, anything that's releasing around now is gonna take a
suddenly,
big hit on sales.
Yeah.
Obviously. you
plus you're gonna get all those movies that release. Plus you're gonna get all the summer movies that
we're
come out.
going to be
Yeah.
releasing.
Yeah.
know. Next year's gonna be packed.
Well,
the beginning of
and
the year is
This year,
all
I
the
think
year.
like summer.
It could be.
I don't
It
know.
really depends on when they announce they're going to be opening. Because as of right now,
'Cause even movies are stopping production, which means it's gonna take
Netflix
extra
just announced
time.
that Stranger Things 4 is on
Yeah.
hold. All their
Jurassic
productions, every Netflix
World.
production's on hold.
3.
But yeah, so to go over some of the major ones over the next several months that got delayed, F9 till April next year. That's the longest one. Then we have No Time to Die, the new 007, which is delayed till November. And then Quiet Place 2, indefinitely postponed. We have no idea
Yeah.
when that
I
will
love the
come
way
out.
he said that.
He
though.
did it
like
awesome. John
like
Krasinski.
this is a group kind of movie and we shouldn't be in groups because it's true.
Yeah, it
With that
really
movie,
is.
like
Were we all in the same theater?
I think it
when
was
we
just
went to see
me and
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Or was you- were
we
you
all-
there?
Literally, it was all
I
of
think
us,
it was
even
all
my
of us.
mom and stuff.
It was it was like dead quiet. It was awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, that one postponed. Peter Rabbit 2, the biggest loss out of all of them,
Oh,
postponed.
how
We
is that
definitely
gonna
don't
happen?
know.
That's like basically Endgame.
No, I saw this great tweet someone put out. Could you imagine if this all happened last year in April when Endgame was about to come out? And it got postponed a year. Could you imagine?
It'd be coming out now. We'd just be seeing Endgame
And then it would be
now.
delayed again because the virus happened.
yeah.
Again, another
It was
one.
the Zika virus.
But could
last
you
year.
imagine? Like, that would have been awful waiting for that. Because, like, here's the thing. All the delays that have happened over these next couple months, it sucks. But
I
all
can
of them,
wait.
I can be like,
Yeah.
I wasn't, like,
Oh,
needing those now.
Yeah, I didn't need to see it now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it sucks, but it's fine at the end of the day. Like, Endgame, though, an event movie like that would have sucked.
It'd be like if a Star Wars or a Lord
Exactly.
of the Rings was, yeah.
And F9's like that, too, but F9...
It's the 9th.
It's the 9th one, and it's
know.
not like...
We only
I
saw
don't know.
one trailer, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I love the Fast and Furious movies,
Oh, yeah.
but we just got Hobbs and Shaw in August last year. Like, we're not dying for it.
See, that one's weird because I don't know why they would postpone an entire year because it's
That one
done.
doesn't make... Yeah. I'm really upset,
You would
too.
think they'd just
Because
do it
I am
summer.
excited for it. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
John Cena's the bad guy. Like, this one looks so over
Jumps
the top.
off mountains.
John Cena's
the car.
Vin Diesel's brother. Like, that's so absurd that it's awesome. Like, the fact that we've gone 8 movies now, this is the 9th one, and we didn't know Dom had a brother.
Brother. Yeah. Even though in the first
Because he
movie-
didn't until this movie.
In the
Yeah,
first
They're like,
movie,
oh, John Cena's got to be in it.
Perfect, yeah.
Perfect. He's
they
your
look
brother.
similar. They're both
But
huge
you'd think
guys.
because even Dom's sister wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Dom and his sister, no,
Just, no, I had no
don't
idea.
mention his brother.
Say, hey, he's adopted. We don't
He's
talk about it.
he obviously became a very scary guy, so we don't talk about
Yeah,
him.
exactly. He was a terrorist, so they distanced themselves from him.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Well, okay. You're dead to us.
So I'm curious. What else do you guys think will get delayed? How far will this go? Because as
What
of
else
right
is there
now,
left?
It's
to
more
delay.
and more. I mean,
well, coming
every
up
day
in
there's
June,
more things.
the big one that people are surprised hasn't been delayed yet, Wonder Woman 2, first week of June or something like that.
if this continues the way it is though, like if it doesn't slow down, then I mean that's almost a guarantee
Yeah.
at this point, you know.
Well, that's the thing is, we were talking about how it sucks because E3 got canceled, and that wasn't until June.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman is like the same week or a week before E3 would have been, to where it's like if E3 got canceled? How has Wonder Woman not been delayed yet? You know. But yeah, talking about the movie delays, I wanted to mention this to you guys. It's interesting because the way John Krasinski phrased it was great. I love how he put that. But at the end of the day, one of the biggest reasons for these delays is money.
Yeah.
It's because they realize not a lot of people are going to be wanting to go to the theaters. Not a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. And so,
they recommend, like, even the governments recommend to not be in big groups of people.
Yeah.
And a movie theater is like that prime.
Utah just announced like no gatherings over 100 people or something like that.
Yeah. So literally everything's canceled in Utah.
Yeah, did you hear?
Because that's like one family right there.
Well, yeah, exactly. Most theaters in Utah, like the Megaplex.
Houses have to disband into 2 houses.
But Megaplex just announced that they will not allow more than, I think, 50 people per theater now. Damn. So even if there's seats
everybody's got luxury,
you can't buy them. Which is kind of interesting. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's affecting everything. Yeah. Oh, another one we missed, Mulan, which was supposed to come out next week.
What about like Onward?
Onward already came out, so
I bet that's good. Struggling a little bit.
Probably. I mean,
or it's
doing amazing. This is the thing I wanted to mention to you guys. Like, do we think this is going to be beneficial to the movies that are already out? Because I think it might.
It might, because like everyone's going to be wanting to do something.
Exactly.
No one, unless they announce like what Italy's doing, like a lockdown. People are still going to go out.
Exactly.
I work in retail, and the stores have been busier than they have been in 3 months.
Yeah, even like in restaurants.
I don't get it.
When you pass by like a McDonald's or like even like fast food, tons more people are inside.
I think it's escapism. It's a cathartic thing because
once they feel like
people are out of work or out of school or whatever it is, they want to do something to where it's
go out.
And even though we're being told not to do that right now, a lot of people still are.
It's busier than ever.
Yeah,
well, it's like I saw a funny meme where it's like, I usually want to stay inside, but now that they're telling me to stay inside, I don't want to be inside.
It's like, you can't tell me what to do.
I'm a rebel.
But yeah, I'm curious to see if I wonder if the like indie movies over the next couple months that'll be coming out are going to have like insane box office numbers because people are gonna have nothing else to see.
Oh, we gotta go see whatever's in theaters right now. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, during this time, right around April, May is when the summer blockbuster movie season kicks off. It's normally when we get Endgame and Marvel movies and all that stuff. And now for the next couple months, we're not gonna have anything. Really, really weird, unprecedented. This has never happened like in the history of cinema, so it's really interesting to see.
Yeah.
On top of that, what were you gonna say?
Another big thing: sports. Cancels. Literally, just sports.
Sports in general.
You can't watch something like you're watching bowling if you want to watch something on ESPN.
You can watch SmackDown versus Raw without an audience.
Without an audience.
I wonder if esports might pick up on ESPN or something.
Could
because if
the Call of Duty League just canceled their events, so I mean,
I guess in-person events, they can't do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, there's not right now. It's kind of good for esports because they're already done with all their tournaments. They're usually at the end of the year, so they already finished them up.
Well, I'm just wondering, December. Like, what is ESPN going to do for the next couple months with all Sports Center off? Like,
yesterday, they were for like 2 hours. They were interviewing Spike Lee about how he couldn't get into the freaking.
That was like a week ago, but
yeah, it's like that's what they're resulting to do. They're like, I don't know what else to do.
And the NBA, ironically, it was.
Utah Jazz,
Rudy
the two best Utah Jazz players got the virus.
Mm-hmm. Which
take that shirt off. Disrespecting.
I wore the Utah coronavirus shirt.
I'm wearing the shirt that ended the NBA.
But do we know how long they're saying it's just
at least 30 days.
At least 30 days.
At least 30 days. So
the entire
league. So
there was a while where they were going to do
games without
empty.
Yeah, the Golden State Warriors were planning not to even play with people in the stadium, which I don't know. Sport events without people in it. And same thing with like the WWE, like we watched it the other day. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, because the athletes feed off of that energy.
Yeah, and
I think
that's what makes the crowd so great.
You know what I mean?
Wasn't it LeBron James who said he wouldn't play if that was the case?
I don't know.
I think I saw an interview or something him saying like I won't play if we don't have
makes
crowds
sense.
in the stand because
that's one of the biggest.
I mean, if you think about it, like. You know, if you were an athlete, it would be super weird. Like
you'd get the freaking game-winning shot,
just dead quiet. Like, it's that adrenaline that you feed off of, and the energy. Yeah. So, what else this all really started when GDC got canceled.
And then pretty much like everything just fell on top.
It was
of
like
that.
a
literally
domino
just
effect.
everything
Yeah.
canceled.
What's
in
weird
a
is like
couple days.
you would expect because like it seemed to be just events at first.
Yeah.
Like big events. NBA.
That's all I thought it was going to be
games.
for a
Yeah.
bit.
You know, you got E3, GDC, all Call of Duty League championships, Overwatch League potentially, and like I thought, okay, that's the extent of it
And
because it's big.
now-
groups
We
of
knew
people.
E3 was coming. We were like, great.
Yeah.
This means that E3's on the chopping block. And then,
Yeah.
lo and behold, it happened. And then literally, like, the next day or two, it was like, boom, 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 boom. Like, all of a sudden,
boom, boom,
Disneyland,
boom, boom.
this, movies, blah,
Movies,
blah, blah, like,
movies,
everything.
yeah.
Schools now are
Schools,
canceled
schools.
all throughout Utah, LA,
K through
you
12
know,
at least.
a lot of
Yeah.
places.
Most
Yeah.
colleges
Illinois,
and universities.
Ohio, in general, every school is closed. Yeah. Here in Utah, like, colleges
Video
are all
games
over
churches,
now.
churches here in
Oh,
Utah are canceled,
yeah,
which is big.
LDS
'Cause there's
church.
so many churches
That's
here.
huge. That's
LDS
like
church
insane.
and Christian churches are
First-
throughout the country.
First time in, like, the church's
Yeah.
history, too. Like, it's crazy. It's like we were saying, we are living in a historic moment in time
yeah.
where 10 years from now, 20 years from now, this will be something people look back on like
no matter how you feel about it.
yeah,
you
exactly.
will look back and be like, damn.
That was a crazy
I
time.
went through that moment in time where everything was closed. Things were getting canceled.
People
left
were
and right.
fighting to the death
To
for
get
toilet
toilet paper.
and Lysol and
Yeah.
hand sanitizer and stuff.
Panic buying was
Like,
something we
my
witnessed.
mom was saying she was at Costco or Sam's Club, one of the two days ago, like when everything was starting to get canceled, and the line was literally an hour. She had to wait a full hour for it. Like, and I saw people on Instagram posting pictures of like the Costco line, and it wrapped all the
Through
way
the parking
around.
lot?
Yeah, it was insane. I was like, oh my gosh.
nuts.
Costco parking lots are not small.
No, definitely not at all. Yeah, they had to start, like, I guess, limiting the amount of people that came in and stuff because it was getting too packed in there. It was like a fire hazard. or whatever.
Jeez.
So, yeah, insane time to be alive, that's for sure. But how do you guys think this year is going to be without an E3?
It's going to be strange. But you know what? Something that's kind of cool is that, well, actually, what they'll do is it's going to be smaller conferences.
Well-
you're going to get smaller conferences over 2 months, I think.
Did you see what Xbox announced with their event?
Yeah,
they're
so they're
allowing
doing
other
something-
developers to announce during their event.
Well, and I think they would have done that either way.
Well, so
since they already
PlayStation.
had-
PlayStation's going to do that too. When
Yeah.
they announce their PlayStation 5, you're going to have
I think that's
maybe
really cool.
Rocksteady at PlayStation.
Because then we might get
whatever, I
like
don't
two
know.
smaller
Yeah. 'Cause-
little E3s. You know, you get the PlayStation E3, which has got like all the companies that they are good with, and then Xbox still. That'd be sick.
Like
you know?
like when I think it was E3 got canceled, Warner Bros was going to have a thing that just to press Connor. I'm
Don't-
sorry, I had to
don't
bring
do
this
that.
up.
Don't do this.
But do you want to talk about it?
We had to talk about it at some point. Yeah, so essentially what happened is, after the news of E3 being canceled, the worst possible thing to rub salt in the wound even more. Jason Schreier, a famous
dick.
Now, if you don't know, Connor is obsessed with the Batman Arkham
with
games.
the Arkham games. Yeah,
Favorite
I love the
games,
Arkham
basically.
games. And I love Rocksteady. But Jason Schreier, one of the most respected video game journalists out there, posted essentially
Doesn't
that...
post fake news very often.
No.
He even
he's right.
says all the time that he won't post it if he
Unless
thinks
he's,
it's
like,
not
confident.
Yeah, if he
Yeah.
thinks it's not real.
Yeah, and so, like, this is fact, basically. Like, there's no denying. He basically tweeted out, like, on top of the news of E3 being canceled, I'm reporting that, guess what? Warner Bros. Was, for the first time in their history, going to have an... Whoa, there's voices coming from up. But Warner Bros. Was going to have an E3 press conference for the first time in their history. And not only that, they were going to reveal a new Batman game, which we can all assume was the Warner Bros. Montreal game that's been rumored forever. A new Harry Potter game, which is the one that
Harry Potter
leaked
RPG.
a couple years ago, which is being developed here in Salt Lake City, I might add, which is crazy.
Which will be awesome,
Yeah,
too.
and
Which
then-
we've seen a trailer for, like, leaked
Yeah.
years ago.
So. And then most importantly, Rocksteady was finally going to unveil their new project after 5 years of not knowing what they're working on.
Oh, man.
Just insane. Like, it
Along
would
with
have been
many
the
others
best,
that could
it would have been
potentially
my
happen.
favorite E3 of all time.
I mean, along with many
happen.
others that could
Along
have
with
happened,
console
you know?
releases.
Yeah, and alongside, we could assume maybe a new Shadow of Mordor game or something.
I mean,
but
it's Warner Bros.
It's a whole Warner
They
Bros.
have an
conference. They
entire-
have to show an hour's worth of stuff or whatever. To where
Goodness.
there would have been big reveals.
But now they're going to do that. They're still going to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they still
so
have to reveal
that's it's still going to happen. They're still going to be announced.
We
It's
just don't know
But we
when
just,
now.
yeah, like it's going to be...
It is-
We're going to have to be working while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Or being at school while these conferences are happening.
Well, it is a different experience when it's E3. Like, it's an entire week dedicated to games. You watch all the announcements from E3. It's like a cool...
People take time off of work and stuff.
I'm hoping everyone partners up with E3 still and does these streams.
That's what we were hoping, is like, and that E3 still hosts
there's still 3 days where it's like this nonstop gaming news for 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, because they can't do a week because there's no conference, right? Mm-hmm. But you can do 3 days of streams.
You could
for conferences.
We were talking about
I'm
like
with that idea.
They
100%.
could do a thing that like ESPN does, where they change from each conference. So you like start on E3's official YouTube channel or whatever, and they'll transfer you over to the directs. That way, it's still E3.
Yeah, if E3,
and it's all on one.
Like, I really hope E3 can rebound from this in a way, and I hope what they do is they announce, hey, we get it. Like, we're not doing the conference, and that's what E3 is, like the conferences and the convention hall stuff. But what we're going to do is, like, E3 as a brand is going to represent this week, June 11th through whatever it is, that week. Or not the full week, but, like, these 3 days. We've partnered up with Xbox, Nintendo, blah, 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 to do Nintendo Direct style videos, like press conferences just recorded beforehand and not, like, in a live audience or anything. And they're going to reveal a bunch of games. And it's going to be under the E3 banner. You know? Like, that would be awesome if it was.
That'd be way cool. Because E3 still has tons of success online, if not arguably more than they do with their convention. So, like, they're still known brand online. So they could still be like, oh, we're still doing E3 online. People would still watch it.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I would watch it.
I mean, of course, I would. That's what we would watch.
I mean, it's basically what we do every year, just it would be in a press conference style format.
I think we're going to get the Xbox and PlayStation news a lot sooner now, though.
You think so?
I think we're going to get it in May, probably.
Because
they said we're going to have a conference in the next month or two.
Yeah, I mean,
Xbox said that, but then they announced on Twitter that they're combining their show with their one in June.
Their digital event.
So they changed, because they originally, before all
they announced like an xCloud event.
Yeah, the COVID-19 scares and everything. They originally had, an xCloud and Xbox Series X thing, like press conference or like online video. And then in June, they were going to have their E3 one. Instead, what they did is they just postponed that one and combined it to make it like a bigger show. Okay. Where they can announce everything. Yeah,
so I mean, we have to assume. I mean, we really don't at all. But I'm hoping they do the exact same time their E3 conference will happen. That Sunday in June that they always have their conference. That Sunday afternoon. That would be awesome, and it would be awesome if every company got together and was like, hey, we're gonna do our direct or conference at the same time we would have for E3.
Saturday and Sunday is just all.
That'd be awesome.
Just directs or whatever.
So cool.
And even Sony partners up and just groups up with everything.
Yeah, finally.
And I doubt Sony will at this point. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the other companies did.
Yeah.
And like, because Nintendo, they've been doing this for years. It's crazy to think that Nintendo, at the end of the day, has really been ahead of the curve, honestly, in terms of they started doing digital events for E3 in 2013. Yeah, it's been 7 years now.
But it would eventually. I mean, they all kind of knew that the digital is the future.
Thing is, like, Nintendo still has a representation at E3 every year. They have their booths and everything, which is awesome. PlayStation has just decided to abandon it altogether.
Which I don't mean to, like, so far it hasn't been successful for them. Like, their state of plays are not nearly on the same level as, like, a direct.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting they're cutting out the middleman, which I'm sure is saving them money.
Yeah.
So, and they're...
It's like the booths at E3, I guess, like those Xbox news, they're millions. Yeah. Millions of dollars.
I mean, you have to hire people to set them up and then work
merch
them.
And all the displays.
And then to build it all. Yeah, you're talking a lot of money to do it. So, at the end of the day, I'm sure from PlayStation's perspective, it's working in terms of they're saving money.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
The mindset of people,
because I think that's why E3 is at such a risk now of potentially not happening next year. Is because E3 is something that companies have to invest a lot of money into, because it's to make sales and do all their announcements and everything. But now, with it not happening, they are going to be saving a lot of money on that, and they might realize, because if it's really
that's my fear.
If it's really successful for them this year to just do the digital event, their own thing, they're not going to go back next year and waste more millions on E3 when they had a better year.
Depends on the company, though. I think Microsoft will. Just
Microsoft, they support them.
They don't care.
Well, and Phil Spencer has straight up just been like,
I support E3. Yeah, we'll go every year.
We're kind of talking about news. While this all happened, did you guys hear Bill Gates is stepping down?
Yeah, Microsoft.
That's crazy.
That is big.
I don't know if it has anything to do with the virus.
Well, so it is weird because also...
Kind of seems kind of timely, like, our stock's dropping, I'm just going to leave right now.
Well, and he dropped down from... head from the board.
Yeah, now he's still
still
there.
on the company.
And not only that,
because he's still the
Bob
founder.
Iger, head of Walt Disney,
dropped
out like a week before this whole thing got crazy. So
and the head of the theme parks became the new CEO.
So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you got to wonder. Did they
Wasn't
see this coming?
I thought he was head of like retail sales.
I think it's the head of the theme parks.
The guy
original
who's in charge of Disney now, this new CEO.
Yeah, he was.
His name's something. I can't remember.
Because he was like the.
But I don't know what he was in charge.
Yeah, he was like the main overhead.
Bob
of
Iger, to be clear, he hasn't left Disney. He stepped down as CEO to now be in charge of like Disney Plus.
When he actually talked about it too, he said it was a better opportunity to help the company better. Like he stepped down to more retail focused and stuff.
It is weird though because like I wonder if part of him was like, this is a good time for me. I've been CEO of Disney for 15 years now.
It's been going great.
Yeah,
it's
been great.
I don't want
to be a part of this when all this,
that
COVID-19 stuff happens. I'm just gonna get out on top. While I'm on top, I'm gonna just
that way.
Down,
when Disneyland did shut down, it wasn't
him. Yeah,
it was the new guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that there's a possibility that has part of it.
I mean, they probably saw the virus in China, and they were probably thinking, okay.
Well, and it was already affecting their China markets.
Yeah. They're like, okay, this might get pretty crazy. Bill Gates and him, they're like, okay.
Well, Bill Gates is one of those guys who's been like preaching for months now that like this thing was going to spread like crazy, and lo and behold, he actually was pretty right. But what were we saying? Oh, with E3, yeah. So E3 confirmed. They said they're planning to be back 2021.
Yeah.
And they said, did you guys get your email, by the way, your refund emails?
I didn't. It didn't have an option to do the refund.
Yeah, they said they'd refund automatically.
Oh, okay.
But I got an email, and it just said, like, it didn't say anything about the refund, but it said, we're sorry about the event being canceled, but we'll be back full swing with a reimagined event in 2021.
They mentioned that word, reimagined.
Reimagined. So
they want to make it different.
I think they put that there for the sake of... like
what if they end up changing.
If they do change stuff, they can be like, well, we said reimagined. But what do you guys think? Will E3 be back in a physical sense with a convention next year?
I think so. I think it will.
I think so too.
I mean, it's a conference. People love conferences. It's a thing, and when it comes back, I think it'll be a big thing too because it's like it went for a year. A lot of people have been doing it for. A lot of people have been going to E3 for a long time or celebrated it.
I think a lot of companies support it too.
So
yeah, I think it being closed this year is going to have... They're going to have to adjust. They're going to have to change what they do a little bit. I think it sucks, but there are going to be major changes to E3. I think they're going to have to... In the end, it might be for the best for the audience. It might be best for people like us.
Yeah.
But... who knows? Maybe they decide to keep it more digital, maybe have a small amount of people come. I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe they go like the PAX West route and they're like, this is all about the fans.
Yeah.
It's no longer
interactive
about press conferences or anything. It's all about the fans.
I think it all depends on this year.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if this year's successful for the companies doing their individual thing, I imagine that we most likely wouldn't see an E3 in this shape that we've seen it before. Of course, we have Microsoft, who they said they support E3 no matter what. Maybe there's multiple companies, but for the most part, if this year goes well and they're able to do it better than ever, and everybody's watching it online, then, who knows? But I really want E3 because I want to go, If they do it next year,
that's the biggest thing.
I'm going to go because that could be the last year next year, We always said.
We thought this was going to... And now...
We're like, this might be last year, and it might have been last year.
Right? Might be. Yeah, like we missed it.
Yeah, it might have been last year that was the last year.
Yeah, for real. We don't know. It's all going to be...
So, yeah, it just depends on this year, and we'll see what happens, but...
Another thing is, too, is... on top of the, how this virus is affecting the video game industry as a whole... There's pretty heavy rumors right now that the next generation of consoles might get delayed.
Yeah.
Because
I thought Xbox said they're good.
It might be PlayStation more so.
Well, once again, Xbox did say that they're on track, but they still have a lot of manufacturing from the Asian markets. Yeah. Like they may not be based.
The thing is, Asian markets are bouncing back a lot better right now.
Yeah. I mean, even them recovering.
Like Disneyland over in Asia are opened.
Well, right now they said the epicenter is actually Europe instead of Asia.
Yeah, it's Italy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Really, who knows?
Yeah, it just depends.
If this does, get worse or spread even more, who knows? It might be. I've seen theories and stuff that perhaps it might get delayed till spring. Who knows? But what would you guys think if that did happen?
If PlayStation delays it because they're an Asian-based manufacturer, I almost know that Microsoft will too, because they almost like that console war.
I
think they would stick with their guns because they're going to be the only console launching that year.
Yeah,
which would be huge. Imagine if the only thing you can buy for your kids that year that's new is an Xbox. Their sales are going to be insane because every time a console launches, it's Xbox for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Well, and after
or Nintendo.
After this drought per se of entertainment for who knows how long it's going to last, people are going to be hungry for something new.
If PlayStation wants to be a part of this, because as much as I may be an Xbox fanboy and like them better, I still like that competition because competition breeds excellence. If PlayStation wants to stay on top, they need to start announcing stuff. Because right now, Xbox has been ahead of the curve. They've been announcing all their stuff. They're like, we're still on track. They've been saying all this junk. PlayStation hasn't said anything. They haven't told us anything.
That's been PlayStation's whole thing the last year is just to not say anything.
Well, I think it's because they're imagining, we don't have to say anything.
Yeah, no, and...
But if they don't, and then it gets delayed,
to do, but in a way they can't afford that position right now.
The thing is
it might come back to bite them though.
If they do have that situation where it does get delayed, which is a kind of 50-50 chance at this point. If it does, then they might have screwed themselves. They might get to that point where we're releasing in April and Xbox is releasing in November. You can buy our console. It's $50
on Black Friday.
Yeah, I think
you can buy whatever we can possibly manufacture.
Yeah. I think it'll come down to price too. Is a big thing. If PlayStation comes out later, but they're cheaper, it's like I think they'll still.
That's why PlayStation dominated this generation.
Yeah,
because they came out right after Xbox, and they're like,
Xbox won't have the Kinect this time either.
Yeah, and they'll be actually game focused,
which will save them money or cut down the cost for sure.
Yeah,
at least.
For manufacturing, definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting this year in terms of... Also, we've been having a ton of game delays, and that's not all part of the coronavirus, but, do we think Last of Us is going to make its May...
I think it will.
Guess who called it, though? I called it on this podcast that it would get delayed again.
It hasn't gotten delayed again.
Again, yeah, not since Last of Us.
Because games, a lot of games can be made... and not retail. That's what I was going to bring up, actually, is games are kind of shining as, a bright spot in people, while they're in quarantine.
Yeah. Well, that's what they've been saying, yeah.
You got, what just launched this week?
Oh, Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. Yeah. Ori Eternal launches next week. Then you got, Ori Will of the Wisps just launched. Nothing's getting delayed that has a date right now.
Right now.
Especially since gaming's so digital.
For these games. I think Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal are going to do gangbusters.
Oh, yeah. Because what else can people do?
People are like... Yeah. Well, have you guys seen this thing? It's crazy. Apparently, Ring Fit Adventure from Nintendo is literally sold out everywhere. You can't get it. Because so many people... the game came out almost a year ago now.
They want to do a
But everyone wants to be able to work out at home and not have to go to the gym or whatever. And so Ring Fit Adventure, you can't get it. If you look on Amazon right now or eBay, it's going for $200. It's insane. Wow. And also Beat Saber is at the top of most of the PC charts and stuff for game sales right now. Just because people want to be able to get a workout on...
I do love what's happening now, though, as far as entertainment goes, because the gaming industry is kind of taking in everyone because they've been doing a ton of sales, giving people free stuff. Even Disney they're releasing Frozen 2 early. They're being we want you guys to stay home, be safe, and so Xbox Game Pass just got Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I don't know if you've downloaded it. I haven't.
I want to beat the first one.
Yeah.
Before I...
And so you got all these new games that you can play. Yeah, I bet Animal Crossing will do great. Gaming's the one thing that you can consistently do
with online stuff too. It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to say on top of that? I forgot.
Because even if we did have a lockdown sort of situation, we could all still
talk
together.
And play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also that's what I was gonna say. Contagion, the movie from 2011. Have you guys heard about that movie?
No.
It was literally about a virus this affecting the world.
Really?
Is the number one on iTunes and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and then the game. There's an Plague.
Yeah.
Plague Inc. is
what
the
is
number
with
one.
that? With people being I guess it's just therapeutic where
they're oh,
you know what? This is happening in real life.
This is how I can actually save the planet.
This is how if I watch something, I can.
I know Plague Inc. got banned in China though because of that. Yeah.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Because you can literally just click on a country and infect it with a virus.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, should we move on to the next thing? Theme parks.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So Disneyland's closing down for the first time since 9/11.
Wow,
crazy. Which is huge.
For 2 weeks,
as of right now, yeah. Disney World, Universal,
Disneyland Paris,
Tokyo.
all closed. Yeah. Those ones are reopened. now.
Wow.
They reopened last week.
Disneyland Tokyo is open. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Shanghai, Hong Kong.
Crazy that I think, first time they've been closed since 9/11, which is nuts. And this is going to be the longest period of time they've ever been closed.
Yeah.
Period. Which, that's crazy to think about. That we're going to... think about empty Disneyland. That just seems so sad.
It'd be cool to be there, though.
It would be so cool to be there right now.
I would love to ride all the rides in Disneyland right now.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
No lines.
Except there's still workers, so you can get, like, churros. Because there's no workers, and you're like, oh, this is scary.
Yeah, and apparently workers are still being paid for the 2 weeks.
The Disney
Seems
College...
like most places that are, like, sending people home, like, are paying their workers, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Granted, though,
awesome.
the Disney College program just got shut down abruptly.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that Hazen before we started recording.
It's nuts.
That is nuts, and that's unfortunate. And,
for those people.
And that's something that, like, that can kind of hit home close to home because, like, my girlfriend wanted to do that, and I thought about doing it.
Imagine if you had just got there, you're super excited, and all of a sudden they just send you home.
Yeah, just shut it down.
Crazy.
But yeah, it really sucks because, so as we mentioned, we were planning to go to Disneyland in just a couple weeks here.
Of course. One time.
And of course, they're going to be closed. I mean, at the end of the day, probably the right decision.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, because I was shocked.
People.
I was shocked it took
this
long as it did for them to announce their closure.
If I'm honest, I thought it's been so long that I thought they weren't going to.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay,
if they haven't closed.
I was like, they didn't do it during the Ebola crisis, the Zika virus, so it's like, they won't do it now.
Well, the thing is like E3 had already been closed, and it wasn't until June. So I was like, how has Disneyland not closed at all? But they did close. And then we also did get the announcement, though, that Avengers Campus will be opening July 18th.
Which is awesome.
Which is taking over what used to be Bugs Land, and which is sad.
But I mean, it makes sense. If you think about probably the least popular...
It is weird to go on a quick side tangent for a second. Like, I loved Bugs Land. And the thing is, it is super strange to think that Bugs Life had a land.
An entire land.
Land.
The one movie.
The only
Pixar
one.
movie.
The only one. That is shocking that Pixar
sequels.
hasn't made any sequels.
Yeah. Because it would be an easy movie. It's like a Cars. Where it's like, oh, what if bugs had souls?
You have so many bugs, too.
Oh, yeah. They only touch like ants and crickets, like they could do so many more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they could do like follow that whole circus thing. You know how it was like the circus guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is surprising because that's something that I was thinking about. I was like, Bugs Land was awesome and it was a cool idea. I think the reason they did it as an entire land is because it's unique. Because you can basically shrink down to the size of a bug. Yeah,
it was, and that's the thing is, I loved that land because of how it looked, like the cover of all the leafy greens, and then the biggest tragedy is the loss of It's Tough to Be a Bug theater. Like that, I loved that show.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, it's a cheesy choice, but I loved freaking Heimlich's Choo Choo Train.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like just the smell of the
approaching the watermelon
and then the animal crackers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and even the ride 'em buggies.
Mm-hmm. We have a great story. I think we've mentioned it on the podcast before, but we tricked our cousin Hasten into first time we went to Disneyland. We told him, we were like, this is a roller coaster and there's loops and stuff. You go upside down a couple times. So when we got out, Hazen was like panicking.
He's like freaking out, and he's like, "Where's the?" Because we put on
where's the loops? I don't see them.
Well, because we had just been on like Splash Mountain where they didn't have seatbelts. And we're like,
he's like, why is there seatbelts? And they're like these crappy seatbelts.
Yeah, and he's like,
oh my gosh.
And I think he had been to Disneyland, but he wasn't conscious. This is like the first time he had been to Disneyland when he's like an adult. He's like
knowing.
Yeah, and that was so funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was years and years ago. That was back in like 2011.
But
that was great. And then also there was the Ladybug bumper cars, and then Flicks. Like the Flicks thing. Here's the biggest thing that sucks about Bugs Land closing is they had a bunch of smaller rides that helped take up some of the crowds. Mm-hmm. With Avengers Campus, there's only one ride, as I know.
There'll be three.
Well, and Tom Holland.
There will be
because you're gonna have the Guardians, there's a Spider-Man, and there's an Avengers one.
Well, and they said, but at the start
at the start of it, it'll be Spider-Man.
It's like Star Wars,
but Avengers is opening like later.
And Tom Holland is reprising his role as Spider-Man in the ride, which is cool.
Which is also kind of crazy though, because
he's had all this issues with
Sony and Disney, where it's like, what if that
sounds
happens
like
again?
they've struck a deal though where they're working out.
They just removed Spider-Man from the Spider-Man.
They just like CGI'd his face and put in Andrew Garfield or something, like,
or like some generic white dude,
just some
like,
guy like, hey,
I'm Spider-Man.
I'm Peter Parker. Yeah, no, for real though, that's kind of like a big issue that I wonder about.
I mean, from what I've heard though, they've gotten pretty good relations now. Like they have like the link with Spider-Man to where it's going to be Sony and Disney, the new movie.
It's super weird, too, to think about because I want to know the exact law, but have you guys heard the deal that Universal and Disney has with theme parks as far as Marvel goes?
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
like Mississippi River thing.
Yeah, the Mississippi River. Disney can have Marvel theme park characters west of the Mississippi while Universal has them east. So that's why in Universal Studios Florida, they have all the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, because they have like the Hulk ride.
Yeah, they have the Hulk ride, and that's why there's not a single Marvel thing in Disney World or something like that, as far as I'm aware.
Like a ride?
Like rides or attractions. Yeah, exactly. And the reason being is because, Universal has the rights east of the Mississippi.
I'm surprised because Universal must not have the rights to the characters, but can do like a product.
Mm-hmm. You probably licensed it out.
Probably.
That's crazy.
Years and years ago.
I'm surprised Disney hasn't tried to like.
I'm curious how long those deals last. Like, I really wish that stuff was made available to the public.
I never thought about that. Like, there's a freaking like Hulk ride, but it's in Universal.
Doctor Doom.
There's an entire Marvel land. Remember, it's like a comic land.
Yeah, and it's actually cool. It's cool. Yeah, but it is just super weird to think that Disney, even though they own like the movie rights to most Marvel characters, they only have it in Disneyland, and that's why they're doing the Marvel land.
I wonder what they're going to do with like the whole Simpsons thing, because the Simpsons is in Universal, and Disney owns that now.
And once again, Universal owns the rights to Simpsons attractions. Rights are such a weird thing.
I don't know. There's so many little tiny ones that somebody.
Because also, guess who owns Harry Potter? Warner Brothers, not Universal, but yet they have the theme park rights or something.
There's so many little tiny rights that you can have that doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, the Marvel license is the most. It's
spread out
slowly.
So far.
It's slowly been coming to mostly Disney. But yeah, still there's still.
I mean, I agree that it should be in one spot. Like people may not agree that it should be Disney, but it should be in one spot because the fact that it's so spread out,
it does make it.
Because rough. When Marvel was struggling, Stanley was like, "Here, everybody."
Yeah, he just sold off the rights to everyone. He's like, "You want Hulk? Okay, you get Hulk,
Spider-Man,
you get them."
Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You want the rides to the ride? You want the rights to the rides, but only the Hulk ride? Here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Only east of the Mississippi.
Only east of the Mississippi.
Yeah, like what a weird. Like that's just such a random choice. It's like. Only the eastern Mississippi.
That seems like such a like a.
But if you want to make it west of that Mississippi on the other side, it's fine.
Exactly.
Like, what if I build it on the Mississippi?
Freaking Lewis and Clark.
What on the Mississippi? That's free ground. I don't care what you do.
It's like when
just build a concrete barrier over the Mississippi with
Disney.
It's like when the U.S. made the Louisiana Purchase and stuff. It's like such a
we
weird
swindled
thing.
freaking Napoleon Bonaparte out of like
who was it? Was it France that had?
Yeah, it was France, and we bought it for like.
A bead,
literally like a $1 million, which at the time was a lot.
Yeah.
But comparatively to the amount of land we got, we basically swindled them.
Yeah,
I'll give you $1 million, which is like nothing.
It's like if I came up to you and I'm like, "Hey, son, I'll buy your house for $1,000," and you're like, "Deal."
Wow.
So
don't shake hands.
Now stay out of our country.
Yeah, exactly. So quick side tangent. Like, are you guys excited for Avengers Campus?
I am super excited. I was there a few days ago. It looks amazing. Mm-hmm. Like you can see like Stark, like a Stark.
Oh, they have the Avengers Tower.
No, they had like you can see at the hangar. It looked like Captain Marvel's hangar, and they actually have a place you can go eat that's like themed Captain Marvel already.
Really?
Yeah. I saw like they put out
like Captain Marvel's refreshments or something like that.
Probably like Cars Land, where you could still kind of see the backgrounds, but you can't see the whole thing.
But like you can straight up see. You can't see the ride, obviously, where the ride's going to be. They have that all gated off, but you can see they've built like the hangar, like Captain Marvel's hangar.
That's sick. Are they going to have like the Avengers Tower?
I believe so.
That'd be sick.
So for me,
I don't know if they'll have the Stark Tower, but
I mean, I know they already have They used to have Avengers stuff there before they destroyed Bugs Land.
Oh yeah,
where they had like. Where you could meet
Captain America. Yeah, well, they were kind of doing that in like the Hollywood area.
Slightly, the Hollywood.
That's basically where it is, though, isn't it? Right there.
Well, it's mostly Bugs Land.
A little more to the right.
Yeah,
because there's the Hollywood Boulevard where there's like the Aladdin
it's close.
show.
It's close to the Guardians.
Yeah,
because it's all going to be close now. Because
it's all going to have paths.
It's all going to have paths like that just go straight through there. Because the Guardians has a path right near.
Basically,
because Bugs Land's entrance used to be right behind the Guardians Tower. Well, what used to be Twilight Zone, but then so now that that's all cleared out, I'm curious to see if Hollywood Land still could, because Hollywood Land is really weird because all they have now that Tower Terror's gone is Monsters Inc.
Because they got rid of the Muppets one.
They got rid of Muppets.
They need to get
Tower
rid
Terror.
of that whole Monsters Inc. one. And
I want them to keep Monsters Inc.
ride's cool,
but they can change that land. That land's.
If I'm honest, they could probably repurpose the ride. They could probably like take the assets and move it to even like Disneyland or farther away in the land.
Well, California Adventure it's
basically just a dark ride, really.
Yeah, dark rides
people love those though.
Dark rides are
classic.
Awesome. Yeah. And the thing is, the truth is like I'd rather have that ride than have them get rid of it and add a bunch of new stuff because it's a classic one. Mm-hmm. Plus, like. It's in an inconvenient spot. I think that's why.
I think that's
the biggest thing. It's like, why is it there?
And if you look at the rest of California Adventure, they're slowly starting to make it. Did you guys finish the Imagineering story?
No.
I super cool because they talk about that, how their plan is to make California Adventure like basically Pixar.
That's good. I mean, it like basically is. Pixar place.
And so they're slowly like retheming everything. Like that's why it's not Pixar Pier instead of Paradise Pier and Incredicoaster instead of just California Screamin'. So my assumption is that they'll eventually make that land where Monsters Inc. is something more Pixar themed and maybe add another ride over there. I don't know, because also the Muppets Theater is being completely wasted with like some Frozen show
and like, they've been doing weird stuff with it for the past couple of years.
Yeah, they just mix it up.
They had it as like the Mad Tea Party thing, and then once that ended, they never changed it back.
Yeah, they should just make it like a hodgepodge of Pixar stuff, like maybe make a Coco thing over there, or
honestly just. Make it the Muppet Show again.
Yeah,
the Muppet Show was good.
Muppet Show is awesome. That's
like,
one of my favorites.
I don't think anybody didn't like it.
Yeah.
Or didn't think it was worth it. Mm-hmm. Like, sure, the 3D shows. I am like
3D shows are a time in the past.
Yeah, 3Ds is such an like an early 2000s thing
for sure.
And so I think they're trying to take away. They're trying to get away from that. Like
that's why like
3D
Captain
show
EO and stuff.
Yeah, it's gone. And
yeah, I think they need to repurpose those to make 4D experiences and like. I use 4D lightly. I mean, in terms of like having the show be interactive with like fire shooting out and water.
I mean, they kind of already had that because like they had the water spray, the bugs that would touch your back.
I'm just saying without the 3D. Get rid of the 3D and make it more of maybe even like live shows. I don't know.
Maybe like somewhat live action, somewhat still on the screen. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, the 3D was cool. Like when the guy would like shoot his nose at you. They could make that live action though, where it actually shoots out at you, like from the chair or from the actual screen. I don't know.
Yeah.
They could.
There's a lot of possibilities they can do.
That whole area is kind of wasted. That whole Hollywood.
Well, it's all kind of weird too, because you have Hollywood, then you have like Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Then you have Guardians.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't. So they need to really, if they're gonna retheme it, they just need to retheme everything.
Yeah, honestly, I wish they would have.
Which I think they're slowly
what they did because they had like Flynn's Arcade, which was an awesome addition.
Yeah.
They should have kept that.
I wish.
Or what if they just make it like half Pixar, half Marvel?
Yeah, like split it and have like. Part of it, like where Monsters Inc. is be the cutoff.
Or like, how there's that bridge where from the bridge over is Pixar Pier, and like where the bridge crosses over, and then where from there over is the.
They can honestly make it like. Keep it as the city, like it's like a city, Hollywood, like
make
city.
it Pixar City,
or make it like Incredibles. The Incredibles city.
There we go. Yeah.
And there's like the big robot thing climbing up on things.
That's tough though, because you have the Grizzly River Run. And you have
that's what I'm wondering.
So like those don't fit in.
I imagine they'll do something with Grizzly eventually.
I think they should just keep that area over there.
I love Grizzly though.
I love Grizzly too.
What I mean is they'll keep it the same ride. They'll just
retheme it.
Yeah. They've done that. I mean, Incredicoaster is literally
California. What water scene is in like a Marvel movie right now?
I was thinking because
Pixar.
I'm surprised they didn't do like Good Dinosaur because it kind of looks like the same kind of.
Or they should do Up. Make it Up.
Ooh, they could do Up. And it's like an adventure.
Like have Carl just appear.
I mean, he is right there, right next to it.
Yeah, they have the
bear.
What used to be Brother Bear. Now it's an Up thing. But yeah, they could do Up. They could do.
What are their new licenses? It could be Onward.
Onward, yeah, that'd be weird.
You never know.
We haven't seen Onward. Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of like, they'd have to really theme it for that.
True.
Onward's like fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something like simpler that they could do, but
I would think in Good Dinosaur.
I can guarantee that
terrain.
Grizzly Rapids will be.
It will eventually.
The next few years.
And the sad thing is maybe even Soarin' will.
Soarin', I think, stays.
I don't want them to change Soarin'. They should just keep switching it from California to World. By the way,
if I'm honest,
it's so much better as World.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like I just went on to get as California.
What was it when you went?
California.
Oh, it's boo. Yeah.
If I'm honest though, like I think that Soarin' will stay for a lot longer than we think, but I think eventually it will get themed. Because if they're planning to do that with California Adventure, they would be looking at the entire place. They'd be like, oh, here's Pixar Adventure. And then there's Soarin', which is not themed. Compared to the rest of the land, they would probably theme it. You know what
But
I'm saying?
Soren's whole thing is like you're like it's not flying over an imaginary world. It's like you're really.
That's what I mean.
It feels like you're really there.
I just think the way they would look at it though is if they're wanting to theme the entire land.
Do they have Soarin' in Disney World?
Yeah, it's Soarin' over the world though.
Is it?
No, because in Disney World when we went, it was Soarin' over California.
Yeah,
and then we were
weird.
thinking, why did they? But then they had Soarin' over the world in California, but then they switched them.
Well, it had always been Soarin' over California in
Disney
Disneyland.
World.
No, in Disneyland.
Yeah.
But then, they changed it to Disney or over the world for just like a little while.
And it was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was way
even
better.
Because you flew over at the end instead of the Disneyland. It was like the Tokyo one.
Well, like you fly over like the Taj Mahal and like the Great Wall. And, it's crazy.
Remember at the end
instead
when it
of like
Disneyland,
some fields in California.
Yeah, it's like California's great.
I did love that, like the orange peels though.
It's
like,
cool, but
we don't need to fly over. We've seen it. We know what California
we're here.
is.
We're here right
now. The reason
now.
why the world is so much cooler is because
you don't get to see those.
We live in
people
United
that go
States,
to Disneyland go there because they don't want to go out.
Yeah.
They want to go anywhere except for Disneyland because they love it so much.
See,
but they still want to see the stuff, but they just don't.
Once again, that's another reason Soarin' won't last forever. Because it's a thing
it's
that
one of my favorite
still
rides,
cool.
so I hope it does.
It's still not old yet. It's still something that people will get enjoyment out of. But eventually, being on a thing looking at a screen, a big screen, is gonna get old.
I don't know because it's so future, it feels it feels current. Like when you go on it, it doesn't feel dated at all.
Well, sure. Right now though.
How long's it been open? Though?
You think 50 years?
Yeah, it's been open since early 2000s because I think it opened with California Adventure.
Yeah.
So
and like that's a cool idea.
20,
like being on a thing, it doesn't feel dated to me either. Like, or I don't think anybody.
And a lot of things.
I think eventually it will feel that way.
Maybe 20 years.
50 years, like it'll eventually not exist.
Man, we're going into a greater discussion about Disneyland now.
Yeah.
which we didn't want to do.
Yeah, which I'm enjoying it though. But I'm just thinking, should we try and transition back to the other thing, or should we, if we do continue talking about this, we should probably break it out into a separate episode.
But we're pretty much done with the virus thing. We've talked about most of it.
Is there anything else we want to mention before we continue down?
It's crazy. Like,
just hope this thing ends
historical.
Yeah. I wanted to mention real fast with the Warner Bros. E3 leak. I wanted to mention. I think it's interesting that Jason Schreier put that they wanted to show off a new Batman game, and then Harry Potter, and then Rocksteady's new game. And I find this interesting for a couple reasons because we know Warner Bros. Montreal is making Batman. That's like all but confirmed. With Rocksteady, the big theory for the last few years has been like Justice League,
Superman,
Flash. Or Justice League. That's what most people are assuming. So I think it's weird though. I don't think it will be now. I thought it would be. I thought it would be for the last 5 years. I'm like, it has to be Justice League or Superman. Like it's gonna be one of those two. But now after what Jason Schreier said, I don't think it will because I think it's weird that he would say Warner Bros. Montreal is working on a Batman game, and then they're gonna reveal Rocksteady's new project.
Why would they release those both in the same?
Yeah, because the thing is, if Batman is involved at all in Rocksteady's game, they would not reveal it at the same time.
You think
as
about
Warner
it.
Bros. Montreal's
we pointed it out. We were talking about it. It's like if they came out and like Warner Brothers like, here's this awesome new Batman game by Warner Bros. Montreal. But forget about that.
Let's
look at the even cooler.
Well, another thing
is
you do Superman or something. You know.
Well, that's what I mean. So the Montreal game would basically be under the wayside.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is because
forgot.
And people look at Warner Bros. Montreal already as the B team.
Yeah.
Like I love WB Montreal, but most people with Arkham Origins were like, it was the weakest of the series to where most people would be super excited for Rocksteady and not WB Montreal. To where
so you think if they announced a game from both of them at the same time, but they were both
everyone would just be like,
themed,
oh, show me Rocksteady.
And they're like, oh, this one has Batman, but also Superman, and Wonder Woman, and the Flash.
Yeah,
it's like Lantern and Cyborg.
It's like, so what's the point of this other Batman game? It's like, if you want, you can try it out.
Yeah, exactly. It would totally undercut that Batman game.
Yeah. So you think it'll be like a new license?
I think it'll be a new license or
Ninja
something
Turtles.
like Ninja Turtles would be dope. But I really hope it's Justice League. That's what I want it to be. But I don't know if they'd reveal that right now. I think if they do, they couldn't show anything more than like a teaser, like straight up the logo, just like Justice League, and that's it. And then not talk about it until next year.
That way people could enjoy the Warner Brothers Montreal one this year. It came
Batman,
out right
the
now,
Warner Brothers Montreal Batman game, mark my words, will come out within like the next year.
I think it'll be this year.
I think it'll be this fall. I think it will be too. And if alongside the new consoles,
launching
and if
with
it's
new consoles,
and if
it'll be
it's
exclusive.
not,
I don't think.
I don't think so. I think it's gonna
none
be
of the
third party.
Arkham games have been.
Yeah,
I doubt
it'll be third party, but I think it'll be this fall launching with new consoles. And if it's not, it'll be like early spring next year. There's no way it comes out later than that because when the heck is Rocksteady going to come out then?
Yeah.
That means Rocksteady would be still years out, which seems way too long.
I mean, Elder Scrolls 6 has been
true, but
talk about it.
Rocksteady doesn't make games like Bethesda. They're not like these.
Maybe now
insane.
they will.
Maybe, but I think Rocksteady's game. I think it'll be WB Montreal this fall. Rocksteady fall 2021. That's my prediction.
Isn't it crazy that next year it will be 10 years since the last Elder Scrolls game?
Oh my
10
gosh!
years. Originally, they were on a 5-year cycle.
Remember how a few years ago we were
10
like,
years.
Remember
a
how-
decade.
remember how a few years ago we were like, it'll come out.
No
next
way
couple
before
years.
2020.
Yeah,
Definitely
it
before
has to be
2020.
before 2020.
And you know how we were always joking, like, oh, it's going to be like 2040. It's actually going to be like 2040. And we're going to be like, I'm like almost dead. And I'm like, I've played 2 Elder Scrolls games. The next one's not coming out until my son is at my age.
Yeah.
Please tell me how it is.
It is crazy. Anything else in terms of entertainment that you guys think has been affected, or what are the consequences of this virus playing a role into
Not
it?
much else that we haven't
I
talked
think
about.
we talked about most of it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. So real fast, what do you guys think? Do you guys want to continue talking about Disneyland as a separate episode, or should we just wrap this one up?
Yeah, I think we wrap this one up.
Do we wrap this one up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, we thank you guys for joining us, and hopefully you stay safe, quarantine yourselves if you
Yeah.
have something, so we can all
Play games.
move past
Play
this.
some video games.
Yeah, and we thank you guys for listening. Let us know what your most disappointing thing is that got delayed because of this freaking virus.
Oh, there's so many. I can't even tell you.
Movies
Name
and
the worst
games
one.
and-
Name the worst one in the comments below, and we'll give you
What is?
a heart.
So we did have a lot of. What is the worst one for you guys?
E3.
I mean, oh man, yeah, that's true.
Mine's
It's
E3, I
between
think.
E3 or Disneyland, and I
Like,
think
Disneyland is huge, but like E3 was a once in a lifetime.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
That
It would
could
probably
never
be,
happen again.
And that's the thing is like even if we didn't go to Disneyland with our entire family, I'm sure
We'd go anyway.
at some point, and so it's like, yeah, E3 this could be the last one.
It
Or
could have been. Yeah,
could
and
have
we're
been.
done. It's done. Like,
Mhm.
and E3 is such an amazing, awesome experience that we love. We've grown up with it.
And that we've always wanted to.
We
go
wake up
try
at
out.
9 and we're all here and we got treats and we watch it all day and
Yeah.
could not happen again.
So that does suck. That one probably does burn the most. But Disneyland, close.
Oh yeah,
Right there
oh,
as
yeah.
well. Because that one was sooner too. So I was like,
Yeah,
gosh,
it was
dang
literally
it.
like a week
We
away.
were like so close. But thank goodness we weren't on our way there or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we thank you guys for listening. Stay safe out there. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.